Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Luna. Welcome. I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon. Truly, I do. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about love and, fear of love, how fear impacts our ability to love, and, a lot of beliefs about love because of pain and trauma. When we are born and as we experience life, pretty much all of us experience some sort of trauma, whether it is big or small or difficulties, because we're human beings. Human experience is not made to be easy. And so often that trauma and that difficulty and develops distorted ways and perceptions of being and seeing. And in that, a lot of times we fear intimacy with others. Sometimes we even fear intimacy with ourselves, individually on our own. We're afraid to make friends, to be in a relationship, afraid to be part of groups for fear of judgment, for fear of being betrayed, because of past experiences or, beliefs and distorted perceptions that have been instilled in us from others, maybe. Maybe we didn't even experience something like that, but we witnessed it in front of us, or other people told us that's how it was. And so it became internalized. That it's not okay to get close to people, or it's not okay to open up, or to be yourself. That it's not okay to, experience love. And a lot of people are actually told that love doesn't exist, which is a lie. I think most of us know that's a lie. But for those that really, feel like it doesn't exist, often it's because of really difficult situations and circumstances that have fully just destroyed that person's ability to perceive love in a positive light anymore. Sometimes people become so wounded from their interactions with others, maybe even their interactions with themselves, betraying themselves, not properly loving themselves. Even that, can create distorted views of love and difficulty facilitating and creating and embodying healthy love, true pure love. I can use romantic relationships as an example because I feel it's maybe easier, maybe the easiest one. Also friendships, but perhaps you really trusted someone. It could even be parents. It can be siblings. It can be just people you know. You may, trust them, and you give them, all that trust, maybe even all that love, attention, genuine connection, and they throw it back in your face and they hurt you. They betray you, or they take advantage of you trusting them, or they, just don't give as much as you do. That then creates a wound surrounding, connection with others. And sometimes you may not even have seen, that behavior, or you're blindsided that it even happened. And so then you start being unable to trust yourself and your own judgment of other people and their actions. The truth of the matter is, we can't always predict how people are going to act, or what they're thinking, or what they're going to do. And that is scary. That's why we don't want to be close to people sometimes. And, it is just part of life, really. There's nothing that is ever truly, truly certain when we are experiencing life, because it is meant to be a chaotic yet beautifully balanced experience here on Earth. And so we just really have to experience what we've experienced, and then try to become aware of and reflect on and heal the pain, to be able to authentically and positively and healthily engage in love with others, in whatever capacity that is. Yeah. Love, love, love. So I think the hardest one, though, most people experience is self-love, because your ability to love yourself reflects your ability to love others in a healthy way. And it also reflects kind of your ability to receive love in a healthy way. If you are someone who has spent their whole life trying to appeal to others, give to others in an unhealthy way, but somehow still not feeling like enough. When you give yourself love, you can take yourself out of that cycle of worthlessness and also of enabling others to take from you in such an unhealthy way. When we understand the underlying reasons for our behavior and others' behavior when it comes to loving and connection, and honestly just realizing that most people, if not really everyone, has a wounded part of them. And that is part of the human experience, as I've said. And so recognizing the woundedness in everyone and not taking it, I don't want this to sound insensitive, but it really is how it is, at least in my perception, from my perspective, is that it's not personal. The reason people act the way they do, why they betray you, why they hurt you, is because of their own wounded part of themselves. That is why. And so it is not your fault that they hurt you in that way directly. It is not your fault, and it is also not entirely your fault or their fault that you acted a certain way. It is from both sides. You have had wounded parts of yourself that have been clashing and expressing themselves in that unhealthy situation. And so once we recognize the underlying part of it, the woundedness that is creating that fear of love, we can start to heal those parts of ourselves that are wounded and bring ourselves to a place where we are no longer afraid of the intimacy and of taking chances. That doesn't mean that, we may not experience disappointment or more betrayals or difficulties, but it means, becoming so solid in yourself and giving yourself the love that maybe no one else ever did. So that you can properly receive love from people that want to give it to you in a healthy way and attract it. Because again, like what you put out and what you embody is what you get back. It's what you attract. So, love that. What you get back and what you attract. So, transforming your view of love and, why those things happen. It isn't, there's no, it doesn't help when you victimize yourself or you demonize another person for their part in a situation or your part in a situation, whoever did the bad thing or enabled the bad thing or accepted unacceptable behavior. It doesn't matter who did what necessarily. It is being able to look at that situation from objective standpoint. The subjective part of it is valid, it always is, but from an objective standpoint, to understand why it's happening that way and detach the feeling of it being a personal attack, because again, it usually is not. It's the wounded part of that person. They don't want to look at themselves, and so they don't know about a wounded part of themselves, so they just project it outwards and they just on impulse without even fully realizing sometimes. Sometimes they may. Hurting other people because they're hurt. Again, what you are inside is what is going to be reflected outside of you. If you are a wounded person, you are probably going to wound others or continue to wound yourself if that's not healed. In order to get rid of your fear of love, number one, you gotta work on yourself, honey. That sounded really weird, but you gotta work on yourself and figuring out what parts of you are wounded, and how can you give yourself more love and compassion and healing, and how can you create opportunities in your life where you can receive that more often, where you can make it a normal part of your life, even if the people around you in certain circumstances can't give it to you. Creating a space for yourself for the time being where you can purely alone give it to yourself if that's what's necessary. Because once you heal yourself and you align yourself with a healthy self-love, then that will be reflected into your external world. You will start attracting the healthy love, the healthy people who also have self-love and who want to love others in a healthy manner. It's aligning your energy in such a way where love is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced despite the possibility of being hurt. Because again, everything in this world is uncertain. But if you are constantly living in fear, you can't even enjoy life. You can't even enjoy it. So what's the point of being here if you're just constantly afraid of everything all the time? So there's no need to fear love. But if you do, there's a reason. And it's not because there's something wrong with love. It's because there's a wounded part of yourself that, doesn't remember what love really is, or hasn't been shown the love that you deserve. To get that love, first starts here. So, I hope that was a helpful message. And yeah. Have a great day, guys. I hope you're well, and if you're not, I hope you're well soon. And I'll see you next time.